Good morning, afternoon, or night. It doesn't matter because this is a recording and you can listen to it whenever you want. I'm Chase.
I'm Claire.
And I'm Nell.
And today we have a very fun episode. We're going to be talking about jobs and nightmare experiences from past jobs, and maybe at the end some tips on how to get a job. So who wants to go first?
Chase, I want you to go first.
Okay, I'll go first. My first job, it was right after high school, and I was like, wow, I just really need a job. And I was applying to everything and doing the fancy, the formal, writing a resume and a cover letter and doing the application.
Naturally.
I got so good at those, I could do them in my sleep. And then finally, I knew someone who owned a bistro, and I was like, hey, can I work there? And they're like, yeah, okay. And so, my first job, it wasn't, and it was a little weird because, I knew the owners. They, low-key, treated me like one of their children. And it was in Seattle, and I had to commute, an hour and a half one way to go to work. I took the train. I was an adult with all the commuting business people and lawyers. Took the train, walked there, worked at this bistro, and it was okay. It was super crazy during lunchtime, and everyone that we served were lawyers, so they were really rude, and they tipped a lot. So, and then it was also
rude and tipped a lot.
Yes. It was also Seattle people. I'd say the weirdest experience I had with a customer is this guy. He had one tooth, and he was just trying to convince me of the best, healthiest diet is to eat a fish head every day.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay. And there's this super long line behind him, and everyone's like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, you're gonna have a fish head. And I was I was a teenager.
That's traumatizing. That's traumatizing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I worked that job for a year because I took a gap year after high school.
Okay.
And I just worked that. I'd say I feel like that job helped me grow up.
Yeah.
In Seattle, you have to learn how to walk fast and look intimidating so people don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's
don't make eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Walk with a purpose.
I have these sunglasses that look they're huge. They just cover most of my face. You can't tell what my expressions are, and you can't tell where I'm looking. And I would just wear those, and people would stay away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Nell, what about you? What was your first job?
Okay, my first job, I worked at a car wash in my hometown.
A car wash?
A car wash.
What did you do?
Well, gosh,
that
I don't
doesn't
even
sound
know.
good.
Okay, it was called, I'm not going to actually say the name because I don't want people to know.
Oh, yeah.
Wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy.
Okay. I worked at Wishy-washy. And I got a job there because, similarly to you, I had ties previously, so it was easy for me to get a job. I was in high school, by the way. And
You worked there while you were in high school?
I worked there while I was in high school, yeah. I only worked there for a little less than a year. And whatever, judge me, but my first job was my senior year of high school because I was just involved and didn't ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was probably too scared to get a job, actually. Anyways, so I worked there because my sister had worked there when she was in high school, so the owner knew our family.
Nice.
And essentially all you do at a car wash is go up to their window, take their money, guide them onto the tracks, make sure you tell them to put it in neutral.
Right.
And then you scrub the side of their car, rinse it off, and then you press a button and the conveyor belt starts and you're just okay, whatever. But it was majority guys that worked there, and so there was probably out of 10 people on staff, there was probably 3 girls that worked there. And all the girls were forced to go dry the cars at the end because we had this big tip like jar, and it was actually like a cow, like in
What?
in the nose was like the slit for the tip,
Oh,
and then you like
dear.
anyway, so they just assumed that like girls would always like be able to get like the tip at the end, so they made us go down and wash or and dry the cars.
Oh my
and I hated
gosh.
it. It was the worst part of the job ever.
Yeah.
But we had some weird things happen because our like the car wash was outside of town, so it was kind of in like this in-between area, and there was just a lot of like very transient people. And anyways, so we would have some weird people like come through. One time a girl, like when you're guiding people on the tracks, it's like a very vulnerable state. I feel like you never know like if they're leading you to the right way or they're going to like ruin your car. So I'm like guiding people onto this track, and you can see obviously that like you're not like you're on the right, like just keep coming forward, and they're like all freaking out. This girl is like not trusting me at all. And actually I think this was somebody else that was guiding her, and I was just like innocent bystander watching. But she, long story short, freaks out, is like trying to turn her wheels like all these different ways.
Oh my gosh.
She ends up like hopping the tracks and like was over the track. So we were like, okay, like reverse, like let's, redo. She like reverses out, turns her wheels a different way, and pops her tire because she like goes over the track again. And it was like a movie where like you hear it and it's like and I was like, oh my goodness. So that was one story. One time we had somebody, they didn't put their car in neutral, they just hit the gas once you were like, they were thinking they were going, and so they just hit the gas the whole way through and hit somebody at the end, like went all the way through and hit somebody.
gosh.
It was so bad. It was like a poor like mom, like a single mom in the car, and she was like so frightened. And then the washers that like that are round and they like go over the top of your car. One of those like fell off of the things and fell onto somebody's hood. And so, it was weird though. Like I would have never guessed that so many crazy things could happen at a car wash. And I was only there for like not that long, so.
The first and only time as a kid when I went to a car wash, it like malfunctioned and broke our back car window. It like smashed it.
See, I never had a weird experience like in a car wash before, but now like working in one,
You're like,
I was like, oh, there's so many things that can go wrong. This is dangerous for your car. Like this is a liability.
You're playing with fire.
Yeah.
Or soapy water.
Or soapy
At
water.
wishy-wash.
At wishy-washy.
At wishy-wash.
Claire, what
Anyways,
about
that's my first job.
Wow. Okay. Probably my first couple jobs were like nannying and babysitting.
Yeah.
But those weren't like official jobs. Official.
Official.
My first official job was same, like with a family friend's business. It was like a cleaning company.
So cool, like none of us.
Yeah,
So like one of the tips at the end is going to be
know someone.
know someone who owns a business.
Networking, connections,
true,
right?
true.
Yeah, so he was like a family friend. He was super cool. They actually were like our neighbors across the street. So I'd see him working all the time. And then he was like, hey, you want a job? And I was like, yeah. So I got a job. Yeah. But then it was like pretty hard work. So we'd go clean houses after people had moved out of them.
Oh,
So it depended on like how clean the people were. Sometimes the houses were super dirty and then sometimes they were super clean. But yeah, I've had some nightmare cleaning stuff. But yeah, I did that job for like years.
Well, what are the nightmares?
The nightmares?
Tell us the
oh
nightmares.
my goodness. Okay, highlight one was probably these people that were like
Highlight
obsessed with like ocean stuff. So in every single
My grandma's like
windowsill,
that.
yeah, every single windowsill they would have like sand and sea. I don't know why I said sand. Sand.
Sand. Okay.
We got this. No.
Keep going.
No. Okay. So,
You didn't start over? Oh my god. Sand.
Stop.
once you keep laughing, it's gonna
Okay.
All right.
Ooh, crying.
Okay.
Sand. They had like sand in the windowsill.
Sand?
Okay.
So people
So-
obsessed with oceans?
Yeah, they were like obsessed with oceans. ocean shores. And they would have sand in all the windowsills with shells in it. And so every windowsill I'd have to go and like scrape out the sand. And there was like, it was nasty. I swear there was like little crabs. Like they would have little
What?
crab shells. Yeah.
Ooh.
Those smell
It's, yeah, and that's what it was, the smell.
And
Yeah.
they were
Yikes.
okay with that?
Yeah.
No, they moved
I mean,
out.
they moved
left
out.
behind.
Yeah. They're like, we out here.
They left
Our
it.
house just smells so weird. We gotta leave.
But I did get some cool stuff. in the
Really?
job. Yeah,
Like people leave stuff.
Yeah,
and just take it?
people leave like little stuff, like not big stuff, but like little stuff. So like one time I found like a cool ring that had like a flower on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it wasn't my size, but it was really, it was really cool. I put it on a little chain and like
Oh, okay.
yeah, I never wore it. So
Okay, so you just
it's not a very nice ring, but but I think I'm gonna sell it honestly because it's like it's got some might be real gold.
some value.
Yeah, maybe I'll go to a
Pawn
jeweler.
that.
And then one time I found like a box of bullets one time, but I don't know if I can say that word. So
I don't know if I can say that word.
is it okay? I did nothing with them. I gave them to my boss because I was like, can't use these. What else did I find? I found money, like cool coins and stuff like that. Yeah, that was probably my first major job. Had that for a couple years. It was pretty good.
Wow.
was
Did
a
you
solid
ever
job.
like, you know, like when you go into houses and they're all empty and then like the floorboards, you can maybe like
Ooh.
find cool things floorboards. Like I don't know personally, but I'm gonna stop. Yeah.
No, that's a
we're
good
gonna-
question. There were no floorboards in these houses. It was more like a linoleum floor.
Oh, linoleum.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I would
so-
always like go into every closet like, what am I gonna find? And then, but if you go into it with that attitude, you normally don't find stuff. So you got to be like, you got to let the stuff find you.
Oh, whoa.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's deep. Whoa.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other horror stories you guys have?
What's another?
What's another one?
I mean, maybe to take like a deeper turn, but like I
Ooh.
did work at Amazon for a summer.
What? For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
And-
while you were in Northwest? Ooh.
Like my first summer after my first year at Northwest, I worked
Look
at
at
Amazon.
you.
Yeah, I
Any
worked in
little
the
secrets that you can tell us?
I worked in the distribution center, so like
Ooh.
like 1 billion packages would come in in trucks, and then people would unload them onto conveyor belts, and it would go into this one main conveyor belt, and then it would come down and be like tossed onto these people, and they had to like throw it like shoot A B, shoot C D, and like they had to
Whoa.
like high capacity like just tossing packages.
Mr. Carpets.
And then they would come down to other conveyor belts, and then your job was to, a job was to like, if it says A, you put it on this side. If it says B, you put it on this side. And like the days when you got that position was like nice, I thought, because I'd be just pushing packages back and forth and like think by myself in the warehouse. And then another job was to like sort like if one or the other side, and then the worst job, well not the worst job, but like the one I didn't like is that you take a package, you read the so now when like I get packages from Amazon, I'm like, oh,
You know how to read
You
the
I know what
understand all
pallet
that.
this is on.
Oh,
You scan it and
weird.
then you put it on a pallet, and then you scan it to like check it in, and if like you put it on the wrong pallet, it gets sent to like the wrong state. And
So that explains it.
Makes
yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
sense.
So that's the thing about like your package is missing, because like when I
It
was there,
sent to the wrong spot.
it doesn't happen very often because your like scanner will tell you if you put it in the wrong spot, but sometimes people are like, oh no, and they just like throw it. But like one time there was this package that got stuck in the conveyor belt, and it was there for like days, and like I tried to like get it, but it was too tall.
Did you not tell anybody about it?
Well, I was like, there was a lady who had been working there longer than me, and I was like, should we do something? And she was like, ah. So,
You didn't do anything. So we don't know if they ever got
that
their
poor package.
but like it was super easy to get that job because
Interesting.
they just have like a
Is
ton
it like seasonal then?
I don't
Like
know.
during very like high capacity times?
I
they're
think
like,
it was
"Oh,
more just like they just always take in a ton of people.
interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, that's maybe
My summer job.
Maybe a listener will be able.
Yeah,
to
I mean, yeah. I went in through like a temp agency. I was like, this is my name. And they're like, here's your job.
Wow.
And I just did it for the summer, and literally like
Was it good pay?
It was.
It was
yeah.
like worth it. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And then like when you quit, you don't have to put in a notice. You're just like, hey, I'm not coming
done.
back anymore. And they're like, okay.
Oh,
And you
interesting.
get to keep your gloves
It's
or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
If like that like if that very continuous labor is appealing to you, then look into it. What's another job that you had now?
Yeah, I was a barista too.
Oh,
Nice.
At two separate coffee shops in my hometown. Both over like summers that I like had moved back home from Northwest. The first one, it was actually across the street from the car wash that I was talking about.
Wishy wash.
Previously. And it was, again, a like family friend who owned the coffee shop. And so
oh my gosh.
he just was kind of like, yeah, oh my gosh, I would love for you to like come work here. And his daughter was like another older sister to me. So I got a job there, and it was like very introductory. And so it was just kind of like my like learning process was like what took up most of my like time there and most of like the summer. But we were right across from a park and ride, and so there was like a lot of random people that would come in. But there was this homeless lady that would come in, and upstairs was the bathroom, and it was connected to like an apartment is like what the upstairs was, but they just like converted it into like, there was nothing up there except for like the bathroom stuff, and they just converted it so they could use it for a bathroom for their coffee shop. Anyways, there was a shower in the bathroom, obviously, and we would like, she would go up to the bathroom, use the bathroom, and then like we would hear the shower running. We'd be like, okay, cool. So that was just like interesting. We were like, okay, interesting. And then that same lady, I would like close a lot of the time. So I was closing one time, and thank God one of my friends like came in and was like hanging out with me while I was closing, and she was the last customer of the day. And so the homeless lady was the last customer of the day. And so she comes in, orders a coffee. I like make it for her. She like comes back, says it wasn't right. And I was like, I know for a fact I made it right, but okay. Like she wanted decaf, and she was saying like, this doesn't taste like decaf. And I was like, I know that I gave you decaf, but okay. So I like made it again. She like goes out, comes back in. You didn't make my coffee right again. So like, instead of you remaking it, like just give me back my $5 bill. And I was like, okay. I gave her back her $5 bill because again, she was the last customer. And she told me like, no, this isn't the same $5 bill. Like,
what?
And I was like, okay. And so I gave her a different $5 bill. Like hindsight 2020, that could have been like a fake $5 bill. And I like just was so like terrified that she was gonna yell at me that I like was like, okay, take it. Okay, bye. She like walked out, and then I like closed the door and was like, okay, great, whatever. Like I'm gonna start cleaning up. And she comes like back in as she's like gathering her stuff from outside, and then like is walking past the door. She like opens the door, pops her head in, and like with a really big smile on her face. She was like, have a good day. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming in. And then she like, all of a sudden, just her face dropped, and she got like so angry looking at me. And she was like, do you have something to say to me? And I was like, no. And I was just like terrified. And then she just like kind of looked at me and was like, sorry, you don't know how to make my drink right. And I was like, okay. And then she like closed the door, like ran over and locked the door. And I was like, that was terrifying. So that was very interesting. But, and then my other barista job, I met Chris Pratt.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
What? He's so cool.
He has a house on Friday Harbor, and he came through like our cafe line with his son, and I like saw him through the glass case and like turned to my friend and was like, oh my gosh, that guy kind of looks like Chris Pratt. Like, that's so funny. Like, I knew that he had like come through the islands before, but I was like, there's no way that's him, whatever. And she turns to me and she goes, that is Chris Pratt. And I like realized, and I was like, oh my gosh. And as I like turned, he was like right in front of my register.
Oh
and I
my
was like,
gosh.
hi. And he was like, hi, how you doing? And I was like, good. He was like, okay, I remember we got a Lunchable for his son. His little son was with him. And his son was the cutest thing. He had like the cutest little glasses on. And then he paid with the $20 bill. I remember that. And I was like, please give him back the right change. Like in my head, I was like, don't be stupid. But he was so sweet. And then he was like, yeah, thanks. Like, have a great day, whatever. And that was it. But it was cool. It was a cool moment.
Okay, so the first job I ever like applied for and then actually got was my sophomore year. I worked at Value Village during the school year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was pretty. It was a lot of fun because like I liked that, like, I don't know, like it was different every day. Like I
Right.
wasn't dealing with the same clothing and
Right.
stuff.
Is that like a bougie or Goodwill?
Kind of.
Nice.
I mean, some people call it
May-
velour.
Ooh. I like that.
We had one like close to where I grew up. So maybe that's just like, maybe it's more of a regional.
I don't know
thing.
if it's much. I don't know if I would say it's bougie or it's just different.
It's
I've
just
just never
another, it's just
Yeah.
another.
But like,
store.
like
Nice.
I applied. I went in for an interview, and then I like got it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so the one thing I was stressed out about is that like.
How was like the sorting process?
So that was a different department. Like there was this like kind of big room in the back where they would like go through the donations and they'd be like,
Right.
if something that wasn't deemed like worth selling, then they would put it in this box and it would be like, not destroyed, but the materials would be recycled to make new clothing and then they'd be donated, which was
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's something you never know where those
Never
things
know.
go.
Yeah, like
so.
I mean, like just a commercial for Value Village right now, but like
Shop local.
like they like donate to charities too, and like they'll like say like which charity each Value Village donates to. So the one I worked at was like donated to like a charity for like blind people.
Oh wow, that's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah, so I was just helping out. But like I was really stressed out because like it would get really hectic at checkout, and so like there's tons of people and they got like carts just full of stuff, and I was like, oh, that's not something I want to deal with, and I told my manager like, hey, I'm not really like in a rush to learn the register, just so you know. And they're like, well, you're gonna eventually.
You're like, oh no.
But I was extremely efficient at like sorting the clothing. Like it was a mess when people would like go and try stuff on and they just throw it. And so I was for whatever reason just really fast at it and like really good at putting everything away and like making sure the whole building was like clean and organized.
Wow, that's
a skill.
That's a skill.
Thank you. And they were like, so here's the thing, you're really good at that. And we're not gonna train you on register.
So you never have to
just
touch
do
the
whatever you
register.
want. And I was like,
And you were like,
that super
"That's
works for me. Yeah, and then they were like, okay, so when they would train new people, they'd be like, so this is Chase. Chase, train this person to be as efficient as you. And I was like, I don't know how.
Teach them how to clean.
It wasn't just cleaning though. It was like, okay, never mind.
No, sorry, I don't mean to like.
Yeah. But like you have
Diminish
to
your
you have to organize by like
skill.
size and type of article of clothing and like how long it's been and
Right,
all
right,
that
right,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, and then my car stopped working, so I quit.
Oh yeah, that kind of
Yeah, I was like, hey, I can't drive there.
gets a little difficult when you don't have a way to get to your
I also
work.
won Employee of the Month, but like
I've never been in a had a job that offers that.
Yeah.
The thing though is that I feel like it was a prank because I adamantly did not want to be Employee of the Month, and I told my coworkers, and I think they voted for me because it was for the month of December, and we have winter break December, so like I was gone most of the month. Like I worked like probably like 3 days, and so I call them. And they're like, oh, by the way, you won Employee of the Month. And I was like, okay. And then I quit. So
You're like, yeah, I just called to put in my 2 weeks, but like, thanks for that.
yeah. And that was interesting. I had to close a lot there. And like people, like there would be people who like low key like hide to try and like stay in.
No
And like, yeah. So you had to like really like look.
Wait, like
everywhere.
in the.
Yeah.
In the
I would do that when I was little.
When you were little, yes.
That was
yeah,
so much
but
fun.
none of them were children.
Can you imagine
so.
if you were a child and like you went into one of them? They're just like somebody staying there.
Oh my gosh.
They're like,
This is
they're
my
like,
spot.
Get out, get out. They're like, shh. This stays between you and me.
Oh yeah. So that was my job there. I worked at the junior year. Hello.
Start over.
For my junior year, I worked here on campus at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep.
I
I
worked
remember
the
that.
desk. And
Yeah.
like everyone made fun of me because they were like, you in the gym? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm very artsy and I don't look like I fit in here, but
Pays the bills.
But
Dr. Brian took a picture of me my very first day and he was like, this is the definition of a fish out of water.
Be like, thanks
I was like,
so much
thank you.
for that.
Thank you.
But that was interesting. And that's like another tip. Like I like asked my friends, I was like, you guys, I'm looking for a job. And I had a friend who was like, there's an opening at the gym.
Yep.
You should take it.
You
So I
just
emailed
gotta ask
the,
around.
yeah, I
Yep.
emailed the manager and I was like,
Especially on
I heard
campus.
you want a person and I want to be that person. And they're like, okay, you're hired.
Love that.
Yeah.
And then I like did my medical training because you have to be like,
Oh, like training
emergen-
CPR and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
yeah. That's like why the person at the gym is there. It's like in case someone hurts themselves, which
Oh,
no one did.
really?
Mhm.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Would you have to be like strong enough to lift a heavy weight off of someone?
Maybe.
Hopefully there would be people,
Hopefully,
more
yeah.
people.
Yeah, hopefully it's not just you and them.
That'd be bad.
That'd be bad.
Because I don't know if I could.
I cannot physically lift this.
Yeah. You're like, I'm in a bit of a pickle here.
But yeah, that's true.
You.
Asking around for people, what jobs are open.
Because you never know what connections people have.
It's true.
Like, who knows? Like, someone could have asked you and you could be like, I know a guy who can get you a job at a car wash.
And you'd be
Yeah.
like, I know Chris Pratt too, so.
And I would be like, yeah, and let me just call up my friend Chris and I'll just see what he can do for
Yeah.
you.
What did he order, by the way?
I don't remember what. I truly think he just got a Lunchable for his son.
So sweet.
Yeah, it was so sweet.
Nice. What about current jobs?
Current jobs.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm a nanny. Classic at NU. I know. And I've been a nanny for like a few different families throughout like my 4 years at Northwest. But I don't know if anything like crazy has happened. The kids are always just different. Like they always have like some attitude, a little bit. They always like say they hate you at some point. And then the next day they're like, oh my gosh, I missed you so much. And you're like, okay, like, are you all right? But I've had like pretty good experiences. Like I know people that have had like bad experiences nannying, but I've always had like pretty good experiences.
Good.
That's good.
What do you do now, Claire?
Currently, I work in admissions.
Ooh, I worked there my
you
sophomore
serious?
year.
No way.
Yes, I
It's
did.
so much fun.
It's
I
so
love
fun.
it. It's a good time. This is my second year working there. So yeah, I'm just like an intern, part of intern squad.
Yes.
We get to contact.
We were the first intern.
Really?
Yes.
That's so cool.
I love that you
that's
do that.
awesome. Yeah. We get to just like contact prospective students, like call them, text them, get them interested in Northwest, and then do whatever else they need us to do up there, like run errands or whatever.
Yeah. Have you been to like a college fair yet?
Yeah, we went to.
Oh, well, yeah, because you did it last year. But
Yeah, we went to NACAP to go to NACAP.
Yep.
Which was super cool, meeting people, and yeah, we get to give out t-shirts, I don't want to say that weird, and that fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Yeah, probably the funnest part, most fun part of it is calling people and hearing people's voicemails.
Yes.
Because people have like
Yep.
really good voicemails.
Yep.
Like my favorite ones are when people are like, hi, this is so-and-so. Just please leave a message after the beep. Ah! And then they'll just like start screaming and then hang up like 2 seconds later.
You're
It's
like,
so
okay.
funny. It's like when you're used to calling a bunch of people and then you hear a funny voicemail, it like makes your whole day. You're
Yep.
like, this is so fun.
Yep, because it's very like one after the other.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
just like going down a list, just trying to like get it done.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I remember doing that too, and I remember like getting laugh attacks, like while you're trying to like leave them a message, and
yeah.
I would just like be mortified. And I'm so sorry. Like I'm leaving a message and I'm just cracking up. Like,
That's good.
Chase, what do you do currently?
I am the social media manager
For what?
for several accounts.
Yeah, you are.
I manage the CAF social media and the ARI social media and SAB and occasionally ASNU when they need me to. I did one Instagram takeover for marketing, and I also run like the stories for NC Improv Instagram, but that's not a job. But yeah,
More like fun for you.
yeah. So like that's really fun. I at least for the ASNU and SAV, those are scholarship positions. But the area in the CAF, it's a paid position. And I'm like loving it. I applied to be a barista and they're like, actually, we want you to do this. And I was like, okay.
Well, and that's going to help you out because
yeah.
after you graduate, you plan on doing
social media
something.
managers.
Yeah.
It's what I want to do. So I'm like,
there you go.
Loving being in like the field I want to do. But I love that I kind of get to like independently run my schedule because I don't need to be in a place. I just need to make the graphics when I can and post them at the right times. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, like creating graphics and like making sure, like keeping up with like, okay, I posted for the area and I posted for SAB and I posted for the CAF, and like figuring out like what I have to do.
Yeah.
With that. Plus, like I feel like a big reason, like that I'm doing it is because people recognize that I'm good at it, and a lot of my like my managers don't understand it, and so I have to be the one that's like, we have to do this for the post because that's gonna work, and they're like, okay,
Do it.
trust you.
Yeah. No, that's a cool spot to be in. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, that was really fun talking about jobs that we've had or have currently, but what are some tips that you guys have for people who are maybe looking to get a job? Because I know a lot of people try and get jobs in the second semester.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So to start off, I mean, it kind of ended up being a theme, but like it really helps to know someone.
Oh yeah,
like,
networking.
True.
Don't be afraid to like reach out and be like, hey, I noticed that blah blah blah. I'd be interested in this because it might turn out that like maybe they're like, yes, we really need to hire someone. I've been trying to find someone, and I know you, so I trust you.
Yeah.
And I will give you a job.
Yeah.
Totally.
Putting yourself out there like that, it's hard to do, but it's good
Yeah.
for the right people. And even if they say no, they're like, well, I can direct you to this person who knows that
True.
they need a job, or
Yeah.
It's good. I've seen like posted on Eagle is a pretty big thing on campus for like on-campus jobs. I looked through that when I was looking at the admissions job and stuff.
Even on off-campus jobs, like I know people that have graduated in the past few years that still go to Eagle to like look for like job positions. So I know that that's a good resource. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I think it's also important to really like beef up your resume. Cause like I was talking to some family the other day, just talking about things that I do on campus, and they were like, "Whoa, you do that? Is that on your resume?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cause you might not think
Put
like
everything on
put
there.
everything, cause like you some things you just take for granted, cause
Yeah.
like you do it all the time, but
Yeah.
like really evaluate like what you're good at.
Yeah.
Right.
But also I don't know if it was just me that didn't realize this at first, but I think that you need to like target your resume for like the position that you are applying
exactly.
for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like
edit it.
so like you're gonna have like tens of different resumes
Yeah.
because you're going for different things.
Right.
Like if I'm applying to be an Amy somewhere, I'm not gonna like put some weird like barista stuff on there. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
hey, cool, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
you have to like really aim your resume like for the job you're applying for.
Totally.
I think another thing is like evaluating your social media, because in this age, like
Ooh, yeah.
when people like receive your application, the first thing they're gonna do is look up who you are online.
Yep.
Which is like honestly, I feel like a reason I might not have been like hired in some situations because like my Twitter is like definitely not a reflection of who I am. It's like my comedic persona of like everything is awful, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like that's come up sometimes, but like look at like what you're putting out there
Filter.
online
Yeah.
where everyone can see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, okay, so
Having
know
just-
people,
No people, check Eagle.
evaluate your skills,
About your, oh yeah.
social media,
Social media.
ask people, ask your friends, like, hey, I'm
Yeah,
looking for a job, and they might
exactly.
know somebody.
Yeah.
And good luck on your career endeavors. Well, it would appear that we are out of time. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of The Screech. Just a reminder to follow us on iTunes and leave a review so other people can find out about us. Follow us on Twitter at The Screech so you can keep caught up on other episodes that we're doing. Maybe even send us an email if you're interested in joining the team, because I'm a senior and I'm graduating and
Same.
can't host forever.
I'm
Bye,
not.
Claire.
Please join me here.
Thanks again
Yeah,
for
join
I'm
listening.
Claire.
lonely.